it started back in my last year of high school. I was given the option to do an assignment, a creative assignment that I'd never done, but I could choose anything I wanted. And I always wanted to oil paint. So it was the end of the year, and this would be our last assignment, but I was handed a white canvas, some paints, and also I was given a microscope and a flower, the tip of a tiny flower, the size of the tip of my fingernail. And it was placed on the glass of the microscope. And I was peering into the microscope to replicate this flower. So that was my very first experience. The next, I was asked to do a self-portrait. And I didn't look at it as something that would be an image that told the story of me. I looked at it as something that was going to be precisely me. So I put a mirror up and I painted myself. And when I got through with it, I loved the picture, but I said, that looks like my sister. So obviously it did, look like me, because my sister and I had the king resemblance. So that was my first experience. And from there, I continued to do oils while I was raising a family. But of course, I couldn't put the time in it that I would have loved to do. And I didn't get back to art really. I mean, I did paintings on and off, but I didn't really get back until my kids were in high school. So I did it, painted on and off. After my kids graduated from high school, now they're grown. They're long grown. I decided to move back to North Carolina, because somewhere in the interim also, the story is long. I did get my first experience in radio broadcasting in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was there for 6 years, but I had to go back. My mother passed away, and I never came back to North Carolina, but it was always a love of mine. And somehow God saw to it that I got back here. But here I am, and I've been here 8 years. Within the last 6 years, I've been honing in on creativity. When I got here, all I had was, I think, 3 pieces. And this was one that I brought with me from New Jersey. And there was one of Club Scene that I brought from New Jersey, and there was one other painting. But when I became aware of all that Greensboro had to offer, as it relates to the parts, that's the thing that really drew me. And the very first thing I think I was told is that I need to create a body of work. So I've been doing that since. I visited Magnolia House. I'm trying to think the first time I came here. I did visit with a friend at one point. Her husband was doing security here. She wanted me to come and keep her company. So I came, and I enjoyed the event. I really enjoyed it. And that's where this painting derived, in a sense. There was an art and craft shop, and I submitted the 2-3 pieces that I had, and was asked to participate. I was approached by Natalie Miller. She was interested in this piece, and at the time, I had a smaller piece framed. I had this one there also. But she said she was interested in a smaller piece. I said, well, you might be interested in larger piece. So time went on, and I thought it would be a good thing to donate this painting. And that's what I did. I donated this painting. And from there, as I said, my friend there, I come with her, and the experience was just so, the experience grounded me. As a Black woman, coming here to this house and knowing the history is very sobering, and it has the ability, the capacity to ground you and to bring you to something that you've never experienced. As a Black person in America, I don't know my roots. I don't know where, I don't know the history of my ancestry. So coming here and just being able to connect with people that look like me, people that have experienced some of what I've experienced, is, as I said, very sobering, and and it's a gift. So bringing things forward, the city had a competition for artists in the area, and it was to do a piece of work that would allow me to express some event that I had experienced in 2023. And I thought about this place when I came, and they had a tent thrown on the backgrounds, and all the people that were there, the music that was played, and just the social interaction was just so, it's kind of hard to express what the feeling that I felt. It was, I keep using the word sobering, but that expresses it best. But it was like the bringing together of the souls, connecting to not only what was, but not only what is, but what was before. There's a vibration within myself that connects with people like myself, and I felt that. So I was able to put this painting together based on others who have frequented the Magnolia house, and everyone in this painting, except for the younger characters, the younger characters represent those who have come today. And the elders are those who have come to Magnolia House at one point or another to bring their music or for a hotel stay or whatever they need. This is the Negro Green Book. And when I put this together, I tried to give the feeling of the house and all that surrounds it. And the first take on this picture, this house was a little smaller, so I had to make it a little bit bigger. But what happened too was that the characters, somehow the characters, they kind of, the house got lost. I'll put it like that. The house became so small until I didn't want to lose the house, because the house is Magnolia House, and that's one of the most important aspects of this painting. So that's where the idea came from, to expand the roof, let them come out of the roof, because initially no one was coming out of the roof. That wasn't the concept. But the house kind of got too small. It was overplayed by the characters, and I didn't want to lose them. But here we have Louis Armstrong and Ray Charles, Count Basie, James Brown on the end, Gladys Knight, and Tina Turner. And all of these people have sometimes been a guest here. So that's why they're here. And the historic Magnolia House is just what it is. It's historic. It's historic for the Green Book reference. It's historic for the music and the arts, the musical arts that were presented here. And the Magnolias, just represent Magnolia House, and then it's on Gorelski. So that's where all this came together. Louis Armstrong just goes back so far for Satchel. Yeah. So he was kind of like the core for me, personally. Just the core of a creative musical movement. And Ray Charles, I remember as a kid hearing a lot of Ray Charles's music. Gladys Knight, I grew up with listening to her. Gladys Knight and the Pips, Midnight Train to Georgia. And James Brown, I grew up hearing a lot of James Brown. My uncle loved James Brown. And I remember as a girl going to the quote-unquote record shop. And he would purchase James Brown, and he would tell me to get a couple records for myself. And at that time, it was the 45s we had that he put on the spin.
What it was, yeah.
Yeah, 45s. And Tina Turner, I can remember Tina back. I was a very young girl, but I remember her. And then there's Count Basie. There were many conversations with my father, and he would talk about B. Gummerton, Count Basie, played like bass, just the real old timers. Or now I do, and that's just as of the last 2 years. My grandson has grown up, so the room that he was using as a bedroom, I've changed that over to a space. It's not a huge space, but it's my space. But back in the day, I would sit on the floor and prop a canvas up against a wall and paint. It didn't matter. I didn't have an easel, and I never even thought about it. You just do what you do because that's what you do. Sometimes I like silence, but often I love. So I have thinker's music. That's what I've labeled it, thinker's music, and a lot of times that's it's music with no words. It has to be something that gives me the space to think my own thoughts, and generally it's jazz. Yeah, it's something that cultivates what I'm doing, something that coincides with movement. And this, I get the experience when I'm doing paintings that consist of music, instruments, or this painting in particular, or even this one. Once I can hear the music extending from my creative work, that's when I know I'm there. If I can hear James Brown singing, or if I can feel the vibe, the party, the beat, if I can feel if the volume's turned up, I'm there. But it has to come from the work.
Right.
It starts here, but it has to be. I have to leave that on the canvas. Otherwise, I'm not done yet. Right. I had three actually. There's a It's called, the painting is called Rosie and the Red Creek Riders. I'm sorry, Rosie and the Rock Creek Riders. And it's a painting. They're in front of a creek. They're on horseback, and they're just looking out to the distance. But it's the looks on their face. It makes you wonder, what are they seeing out there? That particular picture is in Wisconsin right now. It was accepted into a competition, but now it's going to be in the gallery for a month. And it's up for sale. Who knows, what could come of it. There's one at the Duke Ellington piece. There's a copy of it, a reproduction of it at Tanger Theater. This piece, of course, as you know, is at the Melbourne Municipal Building at City Hall. They blow it up to a 10 by 20 foot piece. And it's there for a year, and then it comes down. And right now I'm working on a 3-piece, and it's a New Orleans street band. Okay. So the 2 outer pieces are on it. Actually, it was one big piece, and I broke it down. I severed it in 2 places and made it into 3 pieces. There's, I think, 4 people in the middle piece and 2 on each end. So that would give you like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people all together. And there's one girl in the painting, and she's got her hand over her ear like this. And there's a musician blowing a horn into her ear on this side, and there's musicians over here. So it's when I can feel what she feels, all that noise, which is not noise, it's musical tones. When I can feel that, then I'll know I've done. I'm trying to do it in sepia, more so than really colorful. I want to try and bring it to appear in the era that it actually lived. So it's just a street band. There's a sidewalk and that brick wall that they're standing in front of. So I can't wait to finish that one.
Yeah.